Thank you so much, Mr. Yeoh Onn Lai, CEO of TGV Cinemas, for speaking to us on the LITE Breakfast today.
Great
How are
to
you
be here.
today, Lai?
I'm doing well. It's been quite a few weeks of this work from home arrangement that all of us are enduring, but I think staying positive, high spirits.
All right. So you have been working from home.
Yes, the whole company's been working from home since March 18th, and it's been a learning experience. I mean, I think we're slowly learning how to do it a little bit better and more efficiently, and it's going to be helpful going forward, irrespective.
Okay. Because I'm quite curious, how do, people from the cinema industry work from home? What are you
You
doing
know,
at the moment if like all the cinemas are closed? And what's the planning right now? What are you guys
well,
doing from home?
I would say in a nutshell, what everybody is doing is we're planning for the future. Right now is obviously a bad situation for all businesses, cinema included. And what we're trying to do is, what do we do when business restarts? How do we make sure that the customer is safe? How do we make sure that the customer has peace of mind and is comfortable? How do we make sure operationally our staff knows what to do, as well as everything related to that? All our marketing programs, all our communication to the staff. One thing we are doing right now, actually, Bel, is we've got quite a bit of digital efforts going on. So if you check out our Facebook, if you check out our Instagram, that's one way we're staying connected to the customer while the cinemas are closed. Yep.
Interesting. But how has this whole MCO impacted the cinema industry?
Well, I don't think it's good for anybody, obviously, but cinemas in particular distress because, it's not only local, it's actually regional and global. Cinemas around the world are closed, and that also impacts Hollywood, which has a major impact on the global content pipeline. So what's actually happening is all the major movies that we love, they're all being pushed out. So when cinemas reopen, be a period of time where there's not much content, and we'll have to be a little bit creative. But generally speaking, we are hoping that the content, the big movies, the blockbusters that we all love, we're hoping it comes back in late July, and that's the expectation. It might very well be until the end of the year before things approach normalcy. But right now, we're waiting for the content to come back online.
So how does that work? I mean, you're working. You have to react to. It's so reactive right now. You can't be even proactive when you train your staff, when you want to do marketing. How do you do that?
Well, it forces you to be creative, and I think all businesses are doing that right now. With our staff, I mean, you could think about what's a difficult work from home situation. Obviously, a lot of our staff that man the cinemas operationally, nothing's running right now. So what can they do? So ordinarily, you would think there's not that much they can do, but actually they can re-immerse themselves in training and think about the customer experience. Think about all the safety issues, the safety protocol that puts one cinema, and think everybody comfortable coming back to the cinemas. So that training, that component of it, if you're a bit creative about it, it's a really good opportunity to reinforce all of that.
Yeah. Sorry, just then my internet connection was a little unstable. So you were breaking up a little bit there. Can you just...
I heard it fine though, yeah.
Yeah, but on my side, because I'm recording it, so it's going to sound bad on my side, right? So if you don't mind, Lai, can you just say what the people who are mending the cinema, what are they doing at home right now?
So for our operations team, what we're trying to do is make really good use of the time right now. Have them re-engage in training regarding all aspects of the customer experience. Definitely making the experience special. What's so magical about going to the cinemas and the movies? So there's the experience component. There's definitely the safety and comfort component, the health component.
Yeah.
We're going to have enhanced safety measures in our cinemas. We can talk about that a little bit more. And, that's a new set of operations and procedures that we want to make sure that everybody has it down just right, because, we want to execute well. And so all these things, while the cinemas are closed, we're actually making very good use of the time. We're doing a lot of training. We're changing a lot of our operational procedures, and we'll be ready when the time is right to reopen.
Wow. Very positive. I like that. Very good. Now, but has any of your staff in your entire organization, have they been affected? Like, have you had to do pay cuts? Did you have to lay people off so far?
Well, you know, this actually, Bel, is something that's really close to my heart. In as much as possible, what we're trying to do is minimize the pain for our staff. So really, especially during the MCO period, there has been fairly minimal impact. Now, post MCO, I think all companies are looking at some level of cost cutting, but we're going to keep it fairly moderated. We're considering a few options. No final decisions yet. At this point in time, I would say the main segment of our staff that are impacted are actually the part-timers, because they're rostered based on available hours. Right now, the cinemas are closed. There are no hours for them. But what we've tried to do is we've tried to take advantage of the government programs. So there's various government programs like the Employee Retention Program, which I would encourage all companies to look at. What it is your staff are basically on leave, but the government pays them a subsidy every month for up to 6 months. So that helps.
Yeah. So far, you're still keeping all your staff members, even the part-timers?
Well, so far we're keeping as many part-timers as we can. And, you know, there'll be some that they'll look for other avenues of work, and that's perfectly fine under the circumstances. I think what we're trying to do, again, definitely we're trying to minimize the pain for our staff. And what we're trying to do is keep as many people on board for as long as possible with minimal impact. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But with so much technology nowadays, and we're discovering so much that we can do at home, you know, have you explored other ways to sort of bring the cinema to the people? I don't know how that will work, but like you were saying that you guys have explored this kind of creativity on how you can bring the cinema to the people.
You know, in short, we've definitely explored that, i.e. some variation on streaming services. We have a distribution arm, TGV Pictures. We have some titles in our library, as do all the other major players in the cinema space. So there's an opportunity to do that. To be honest with you, that and many other things are being explored. But I would say this, Bel, I think that, you know, the uniqueness of the cinema is really the communal experience, the larger than life experience in watching it on the big screen. And that's hard to replicate. That's the main thing that we're known for. That's what we're special about. And, you know, I think we want to continue emphasizing that. But we're working on a lot of things on the side though. Yes.
Yeah, definitely the cinema experience is not something that's irreplaceable, not something that you can replicate at home, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, after the MCO and this whole COVID-19, do you believe that the cinema industry will be able to bounce back? I mean, given the new normal, we've had to social distance, we'll have to, you know, a lot of people will be still quite cautious about going out to a space where there are lots of people. How do you think the cinema industry will bounce back after the MCO?
You know, we're quite realistic about it. I think we know that it'll take a lot of time. So, you know, during the first few months, we expect the environment to be quite soft. I think we'll be creative with reruns, some old content, some local content, some regional content, because there's a bit of a content void right now, which I alluded to earlier. But I think what we're setting up for, a bit of a plug for my partners here, is actually Mulan, which is opening up on July 23rd in our market, I believe. So, you know, that's something that the customers can look forward to. It's a few months away. We're not sure when the whole market and the cinemas reopening, but we can look forward towards that. Yeah, it will take some time for the business to build back. And whether it's 3 months or 6 months, we think that the cinema experience is here for the long term though. Yeah.
How does it work though? I mean, for people to actually go to the cinema, they're sitting so close to each other. Even after the MCO is lifted, we don't know. I'm pretty sure the social distancing will still be in place. How are you planning to do that? I mean, are people not going to be seated next to each other? No more couple seats? What?
So you know, it's going to be interesting. It's great that you asked that question, because we've been thinking about that a lot. How do you execute social in the cinema? The answer to that is possible. It's not a perfect solution. So an example of what we're doing is, number one, we'll probably go to alternate rows. That's for sure. And then after that, within the same row itself, initially at the beginning, when people are especially cautious, probably create empty seats between patrons. So generally speaking, if you're going with your wife, you guys can sit together, but there'll be 2 empty seats before the next person sits. And that creates a reasonable distance to kind of address the lingering concerns right now. I mean, I think all these issues, even when you're coming to the cinema lobby, similar to where you've seen everywhere else, we're going to have queue markers so that people can keep a proper safe distance. And we're going to have a lot of safety procedures in place. I think the key thing is we want you to have peace of mind when you come to the cinema, and that extends to the in-hall, obviously, all those social distance seating. That's what we call it.
Social
but
distancing.
in a way,
Yeah, exactly.
if you let's just say you lose that one seat, that means technically 50% of your revenue is kind of gone. How does that work? Are you going to increase the price of the tickets? Are you going to keep it to the same amount? Are you happy the fact that you're not going to be able to get as much as you normally would?
Well, you know, it's like any other business. We recognize that safety is a priority to start off with. So you're absolutely right. We're gonna lose a lot of capacity. I mean, more than 50% in most cases. But I think that's necessary for the next few months until things stabilize and we're confident that they're all clear, so that things can return back to normal. If you think about the restaurants, you know, another industry that has been really impacted, they've got to reduce the number of seats in their dining area. They've got to stretch out the space between the patrons. That reduces their capacity too. I think it's a sacrifice that all businesses have to be prepared to make near term. That's for sure. Yeah.
So, so what is your advice then, Lai, to struggling businesses during this trying time? It seems like you guys have had it all down pat, even to the SOP after MCO.
Well, you know, I think my advice to other business owners, business leaders who are in similar situations is that, number one, definitely keep your wits about you. You know, a lot of people are dependent on you to keep the business running and to keep the business stable. I think there's quite a few stakeholders involved here. Firstly, is definitely internal. So, you know, you've got to reassure your team. You got to make sure that they feel valued, and we're going to work through these tough times together. Now, the external stakeholders, there's a lot, you know, usually for a lot of retailers, for ourselves, there'll be your landlords, there's your other business partners, your suppliers, your creditors. I think the message there is that we're all in this together. So, you know, our fates are intertwined. I genuinely believe that there's a lot of will to help each other. You know, there's a common intent to help each other, and you know, all the good dialogue, the candid and transparent communication, that's going to go a long way, and then we can kind of foster a lot of compromise and solutions. Probably the last bit would be, I would say, we have to be innovative. You know, think out of the box. The social distance seating is one, for example. There'll be a lot of solutions that are necessary in this environment. The environment almost demands it. I was reading a lot of interesting things where the restaurants are doing takeout kits, you know, so it's like do it yourself. You make your own pizza at home, you make your own burger at home, all the ingredients are ready for you. They kind of make it almost experiential. So that kind of resonated with me because we're an experiential business too. So that kind of thing, new interesting solutions, that's what the situation demands. Yeah.
Okay.
A quick one though, I'm actually really concerned about this because if, let's just say for me, if I don't get to go to the cinema to watch a movie that I've been looking forward to watch forever, that means the movie directors and producers and the studios won't get to release the movies. Like, let's say Top Gun 2, everyone's waiting to see that as well. They won't release it on time. Or will they? And also, will this situation with COVID-19, MCO, social distancing, in a way, because people can't go to the cinema, will it in a way encourage piracy online?
Yeah.
Well, you know, piracy is always a problem. You know, here's the interesting secret. I think Malaysians, they love movies, and nothing can replicate their experience. The pricing of the movie tickets in Malaysia are among the cheapest in the world, based, you know, relative to what you get. You get some great facilities. But to your point also, JD, it's really about the content, you know, and a lot of the fans, they're waiting for these big movies. You mentioned Top Gun. So that was supposed to be a summer movie. Now it's December, but that's good. It's still this year, and we have something to look forward to at the end of the year. So you've got all these big movies. They've all been retimed, some into next year, some into the second half of this year. And we're looking forward to that. All eyes are really on Hollywood and the major markets around the world, because, you know, cinema is global now. So if a movie opens, it can't really open in one part of the world. It's got to open globally within a span of time. And so all eyes are really on the big Disney movie, Mulan, which everybody's looking forward to. That's going to have to open in China for sure. It's going to open in Southeast Asia. To be honest, it's got to open in North America. You know, these are all the huge markets that drive the global industry. We're kind of waiting with bated breath. I mean, we're looking forward to it. So far, the release schedule is holding firm. So, you know, maybe the business restarts in July, and then is a slow incremental rebuild from there. Yeah.
So if the US don't get their act together, I mean, COVID-19 wise, that means we're not going to be able to enjoy a lot of the movies. That's why you mentioned release some of the regional movies and whatnot earlier, is it?
Yeah, well, you know, right now, irrespective of what we do, there's definitely a content void in June, in May and June, so to speak. If the market reopens, whether in May or June or even in the early part of July, there's actually not that much in terms of major new content, but there might be some local content, which we shouldn't underestimate. There'll be some regional content. And, you know, we can, you know, we were talking about innovation, right? Okay, so it depends on what kind of fan you are. If you're a Top Gun fan, we could play the rerun. The original is 30 years old, but it's
okay.
original.
I'm there.
Yeah, and how about $5 for that? I mean, I don't know whether I'll get in trouble for that, but I'll say that right here. And then, like, you know, if you're a James Bond fan, James Bond's been retimed to November. What if we do a string of reruns of some of the earlier James Bond and package
marathon?
It together?
Oh my god!
Yeah, marathon. You know, double feature, triple feature. These are the type of things we'll have to do to make it really fun for the customer to come back, and we intend to do that. So, you know, instead of taking the pessimistic view, we're optimistic. We're going to make it fun. We're going to try to get the customers excited about coming back to the cinemas. But most importantly, I think we're going to make it safe and comfortable for the customer. We're putting a lot of procedures in place because we know that they're not in isolation. You want to come back, but you want to make sure you're safe. And that's definitely top of mind for us. Yeah.
Very good. Now, lastly, like, what's your message to all your customers or to Malaysians in general?
Well, you know, we have a motto at TGV, which is basically stay the course and keep the faith. So, you know, stay the course in the sense that we're going through some tough times now, but, you know, there's a longer term goal and we're making progress and we'll be successful. Keep the faith in the sense that everything we love about life, everything we love about going to the cinemas, the magical experience, you know, that's going to come back and it's going to be better than ever. So keep the faith. Yes.
I like your optimism. Seriously, it's rubbing off. Like, I was going to ask you, like, do you have any worries and all that? But it seems like you don't about the businesses, like, you know, just folding after this whole thing. Because a lot of us SMEs are quite worried about that.
Did you apply for all the government aid and everything?
Well, you know, we're trying to apply for as many as we can qualify for. Our industry is a little bit specific in the sense that there are only certain things we qualify for. We're a little bit of a larger company than your typical SME as well. But I think we're doing our best there. In terms of, am I worried about a lot of things? I would say there's obviously a lot of worries. You worry about your staff, you worry about the company, you worry about the country. But, you know, at the end of it, you're thinking about, you look around, you talk to your friends, you see all the positive things happening, you see Malaysia making progress too. And, you know, I would prefer to say that I'm looking forward to the future and I'm really hopeful. You know, I think there's a good end result from this. And that's kind of my message to everybody as well. I think we'll get through this and we'll be all the better for it. Yeah.